Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Pucking Mad podcast. Today, I'm joined by Richard Bentham of the Solway Sharks. Richard, thank you so much for coming on, mate. Would you like to introduce yourself? You can do it better than
me.
You're
more than welcome. It's an absolute pleasure to be on here. So, as you mentioned, I'm Richard Bentham. Currently playing for the Solway Sharks, not for much longer, but yeah, this is my team, the Solway Sharks. Living up in Dumfries now. I'm originally from Bolton. Obviously grew up playing a lot further south than where I am now, but this is where I moved now with my wife and my little boy, and we're happy and settled up in Dumfries now. So, but yeah, thank you very much for having me on. I'm looking forward to it.
No problem at all, mate. No problem at all. I think first question fly into is the obviously your kind of final game. Maybe you never know, you might come back. Who knows? Final game for Solway Sharks. Obviously 4 trophies so far. Eyeing up the game against Streatham. How are the nerves when it comes to that sort of big fixture like that? You know, how does it feel?
Well, to be perfectly honest with you, I think Streatham's a very, very, very good team, and the nerves are there. I mean, how could they not be? Do you know what I mean? It's probably, out of everything we've won, obviously the league and playoffs was nice, but this is the one that sort of crowns you as being the best team in the country, right? So we're all so hungry for it, and obviously it's. I don't want to take the limelight off the team or anything like that, but there's myself and another player called Gordon Horn who plays for the Sharks. It's both of our last games for the Sharks, so obviously a bit of pressure on there to try and go out on a high, but you just never know. I mean, it could go either way, I'll be perfectly honest. I think when we played Streatham last year, we did beat them. I mean, if I can remember correctly, I think we peppered them in the first period, and then the second period they absolutely peppered us. Luckily enough, we had Callum Hepburn in net, who we've got in net this weekend, and he was an absolute wall in that second period. So we managed to just stay. It was either 1 goal or 2 goals in front of them going into the third, and then just we saw it through and ended up being champions of the country for our league. I mean, that game though, I don't know if people are aware, but they were missing Ryan, who I believe is the player coach or captain now for them. I'm not 100% sure. I apologise for that. I'm not sure if you're the coach or the captain. I can't remember off the top of my head. And then they were missing. I can't remember the import's name. I think he's called Vlad. Maybe I can't remember. I don't want to sound disrespectful to him not knowing his name, because I know he's a fantastic player. Yeah. So those two will be back in the lineup now. So it will be a test. I mean, we've got pretty much the same sort of team as we had last year. A few changes here and there. I mean, one big miss that we won't have this year that we had last year was Liam Stenson, who was probably our best D-man. Skillful. He scored a great. Well, he didn't score, but he could have scored it, but he put it back post to our import who scored that game. But I do believe that this game it'll be end to end. It'll be fast. It'll be physical. I mean, they've got some big boys. The one lad who scraps for him all the time. I know he's a tough boy and he puts the body on. So there's a couple of our boys who don't mind putting body on as well. So it really will be a great watch. And I mean, both teams are hungry for it. I mean, we want to win all 4 trophies. They want to get one over on us this year because we done them last year. And I mean, it really will. I think we're very even. I don't even want to sit here and say that we're better than them, because I honestly don't believe that we maybe are. I think we're probably both exactly the same, especially this year now that they've got Watty and the other lad playing. I think it is a complete different lineup, just adding those two into their team. But we're ready for it. I mean, we've done our homework and stuff, and it's something that we're all prepped for. We're going down a day early, and we'll get down there early, go for some nice food, so that we're not going down there early on the Sunday morning. So we are ready and we're coming. And I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, players like to talk. Players like to say, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. It's all mental games at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? But we are hungry for it, and we're ready for it. We really want this one.
Yeah, it's a really nice thing to hear, because I think obviously I imagine it's very different playing kind of, you know, obviously an NIHL.
We don't know each other. We don't know each other. We'd never come across each other until this game. I think it was probably the exact same weekend last year, and then we're playing them again this weekend. I think deep down we probably both knew that we would probably win the North and they would win the South. And that's no disrespect to any other teams. It's just just one of them things. I mean, the dedication from our team, and then the lineup they have, and obviously the dedication those boys put into it. It's two great teams, two teams that are both stacked, and I mean stacked, not just through talent, but with the variety in age. I mean, we've got young boys, we've got some old boys. Our roster's very, I wouldn't say mixed. I mean, our average age is probably 23-ish, 24. I would say theirs is a little bit older. So there's pros and cons to both, right? Yeah. Like they've probably got a bit more physicality. We might have a little bit more speed. But we are, honest to God, one of the most well-drilled teams in the country. Well, I mean, in our league. I mean, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I truly believe that our team could play in that league above right now. I'm not saying we would win it. I'm not saying we'd come bottom. I genuinely believe right now our team would be sort of mid-table, bottomer, and not bottom, but we'd definitely be in there. And I believe Streatham would be more than capable as well. I mean, I've played in the league, that league above us that used to be the EPL. I can't remember the name what it is now. Some daft name that they just put forward the NIHL to change things up. I mean, let's be honest, it's the EPL.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Why it gets changed is ridiculous. God knows. It's the Premier League below the Elite League. So, I mean, that the year I was there and it was Leeds for the first year. I mean, we didn't have a fantastic team. It was our first year as a franchise, and I think we turned every single team over. Obviously, I think we finished bottom, but we didn't have an arena for 3/4 of the season. So we were playing home games as away games. So we were always up against it. But I genuinely don't think that league is as good as what people think it is. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I don't think there's a massive difference between people going about our league being a bear league and a pub league, and that. I'm telling you now, it isn't. Do you know what I mean? It definitely isn't. There's teams in that league that we could walk over. And I'm not just saying that. I'm telling you now, we could walk over. I mean, I'm not saying our coach is better than Streatham's or better than other teams in the league, but we've got Martin Grubb as our coach. And I mean this, he is one of the most hockey talented brains, tactician extraordinaire that I've honestly ever come across. I mean, I've been playing hockey since I was 6-year-old, and some of the stuff he says and some of the stuff that he's still advising me on at times, and I'm 32, and when you get to the World Junior, you don't think you know it all because you've been playing and you still know there's room for improvement, but everything he tells you makes sense, right? Mm-hmm. And just the drills and stuff. He's throwing drills out these days, and he calls me the drill wrecker, and I literally stand at the back of the queue for every drill because I haven't got a clue until I see someone do it. My memory's just shocking.
Yeah.
But we are genuinely so ready for it. And I mean, all the boys, I've tried saying to the boys, don't play this game knowing that it's mine and Horner's last game. We're in it together. Please don't try and do anything special. We're a team at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? Win, lose or draw, I'll still go out with my head held high. Do you know what I mean? And I've been a part of quite a lot of games where it is players' last game.
Yeah.
And most of the time it's not gone the right way. So I'm just hoping this year it does go the right way, and I can go out with that 4th trophy, bring it back to Dumfries for the fans and our families and everybody, just to show our love for it and how grateful we are, not just for ourselves, but for our families and stuff who allow us to play the game. And it takes up every weekend of the year, right? For 7 months of the year.
Yeah.
Literally every weekend. So we're so fortunate that we have people who understand how much we sort of need that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. People play hockey for different reasons, right? A lot of people play it for stress relief. A lot of people play it for the love of the game. Yeah. Like everyone has their own reason why they play hockey hard. And that's the reason why there's some boys who still play till they're 40.
Yeah.
That's why some boys stop playing when they're in their 20s. Everyone has different reasons why they stop, right? Yes. And mine has generally just come to the point now where, I'll be honest, my legs just do not work like they used to. And I do not want to be one of those people who hang on to playing just for the love of the game, and maybe a little bit scared to let it go. Do you know what I mean? That's no disrespect. Obviously, I don't want it to go, but I'll always be a part of hockey. I'm hoping as long as I can. Yeah. So I'll just see how it goes, I guess, at the end of the day. But we're all ready. We're all hungry.
But I think that's the thing with Solway that seems to have made it such a successful sort of team in terms of it's the hunger that you seem to have had. I
Yeah.
mean, the success over the last few seasons has
Yeah.
been almost like
Yeah.
offensive. You know, when you
Yeah.
look at the league, it's you know, you're winning by rugby scores, like
Yeah.
on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
It must be hard to maintain that level of.
It is, and let's be honest, that's not good for anybody.
No,
But
no,
that's not our fault. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think people, I don't really get involved in forums and stuff. I mean, when I was younger, I used to have a little look and stuff, but I've just learned not to, unless it's published where you can't not see something. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
But like, is it our fault we've got one of the best coaches in the country? Is it our fault our assistant coach is one of the most dedicated people to hockey that there is, in Jamie Thompson, who's obviously taken over the SIHA and controlling that because he's seen what a bit of a shit show that's been over the last years. You know what I mean? Like, these people are in it because they want to be in it.
yeah.
And if you don't have people in it like Jamie and Spud and people like that, then it's not going to improve. And I mean, I go on and I help with the coaching, the learn to play. I coach the under 14s this year with Rob Chalmers. Bobby Chalmers, I think he's one of the all-time top point scorers for the Solway Sharks. So every age group has got an experienced coach. You've not just got any Tom, Dick and Harry coming down who can do a stop on the ice and thinks they know hockey. Do you know what I mean? We've got experienced boys here in every age group who know what they're talking about. And you'll know yourself when you're growing up and you're watching a team, you want to either be part of that team or you want to learn from someone who's on that team, right? Otherwise, where's the aspiration? How are you going to improve? Do you know what I mean? You want to ask questions and get the right answers instead of being told something ridiculous like you should be playing right-handed or left-handed, or do you know what I mean? Just something ridiculous, or tie the laces around the back of your boots, and it's like, come on, man. We want to understand. We want to know what's going to help us. But this is what I mean. Like, the kids, when I was growing up, I played at Blackburn from the age of, I think, 6 to 11 or 12 before my dad, bless him, he moved me to Nottingham, and he would take me up there on a Tuesday and stuff. And the reason he did that was because, like, I was getting all-stars in conference tournament and stuff, and my dad knew that obviously I wasn't going to go anywhere at Blackburn at that time, so he moved me to Nottingham, and I'd go up on a Tuesday and I'd train under 14s, under 16s, under 19s, then with the adults. I was on the ice for like 6 hours at once. Like, you're not getting that anywhere, but you need to understand that that's what kids need. That's the only way you're going to get better. We're not in Canada. We haven't got ponds in the garden where we can go and skate and shoot pucks. But at Solway, mate, you've got learn to play for sort of all age groups up to like 16, depending on ability. I think some people might be able to stay on who are a little bit older than that. Yeah. But the kids, they're all training 2-3 times a week and they're on the ice for hours. Do you know what I mean? And it's at Solway, you've got probably one of the best ice surfaces you've got in the country. Do you know what I mean? No one ever comes and complains about our ice surface. Yeah. And we're putting curling events on whilst we're playing the season, and the ice is still fantastic. Like, what other places are doing that? Do you know what I mean? And that's why we've got the top team here. It's why we've got one of the best figure skating teams. It's why we've got some of the top curlers in the country. We're only a little, I don't even know if we're a town. I couldn't even tell you where, but we're only small. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. We're just in the middle of nowhere. We're just past Carlisle, one of the first places you come to in Scotland. Yeah. But we absolutely run the shit out of that ice facility, and we do a great job. Yeah. And it has just become a massive, big family there. I mean, when I think I played for Solway for 5 seasons. The first season I was here, I mean, we didn't get a big crowd. You could hear the puck hitting your stick on passes and stuff like that. And now that rink's absolutely full. Yeah. And yeah, people say that comes from success, and which obviously it does. Nobody wants to go and watch a team who's getting spanked every week. Yeah. But it's down to us to keep that bar there, obviously, and keep people coming back. And we're not charging ridiculous prices for people to get in and stuff. But it really just is a massive family there. And I think places I've played in the past is just, you turn up and you feel like the away team. Like, no disrespect to the Blackburn Hawks, because I know that the Blackburn Hawks are sort of ran completely different to the ice arena, like they're independent to the ice rink. But when I used to play there when I was young, you'd turn up and like your girlfriend or wife's not allowed to come in at a certain time. They have to wait until the fan. Like, come on, man. I was there one game. They wouldn't let a referee's girlfriend come in at the same time as the ref. I'm not being funny.
It's ridiculous.
And I'm not saying a referee would ever do this, but obviously that ref's going to get his back up and think, oh, Blackburn are a bunch of you know what. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, just use your brain and think about things before you make a decision.
Yeah.
But I just cannot speak highly enough about this place. And I genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, say that anybody who would ever want to come here or whoever had the opportunity, if they live in Dumfries, just go and give it a go, man. Like, kids, we know what's going on these days. They're all hanging about on the streets and getting up to no good. Somewhere you can go and hang about and be safe, right? Get involved in a sport where you're taught discipline, you're taught everything that you need for life as you get older. And I think that's why hockey players are generally the nicest people you can meet off the ice, but on the ice, they know that if they need to be, they can be an animal.
Yeah, it's true. There's something about that, isn't there? The ability to kick the living daylights out of each other on the ice, and then at the end you shake hands, and that's it. And that's a really important thing.
Exactly.
Maybe for kids to know as well. You know that there's a point you draw a line.
Yeah, exactly.
The one thing that strikes me when it comes to Solway is the when like having spoken to various people, Martin, Struan, yourself, talk about kind of the experienced players and obviously management getting involved with the youngsters. Seems to be one of the most important things. I think maybe reachability. The kids know if I work hard, this is where I can be, and then go from there.
They know they've got a goal. They know that. Like when I used to go. So when I was younger, I grew up watching the Blackburn Hawks. I used to grow up watching the likes of Bobby Haig, Jim Pennycook. And I tell you now, if I was to ever message one of them or something, they'd be straight back on the phone. How are you doing? Do you know what I mean? It's just all that level of respect, but you need something to look up to. You need a role model, right? Someone who's going to be a positive influence on you. But that's why you need coaches and people who know what they're talking about. I mean, kids these days, when you're coaching and stuff, you can see the brains ticking if they're not enjoying something and they don't want to be involved, they're losing concentration and stuff. It's about knowing what sort of drills to do and what can keep them focused, but they're still knowing that what they're doing is helping them to improve, right? But it really is, and that's why I think it's so important that we sort of, some of the older boys like myself, Stu and Ross Murray, even some of the younger boys, they go on and help out. It's just to show that there is a goal there. You can get on that Sharks team one day, and a lot of the boys on that Sharks team. I mean, I've seen people making comments lately about Scotland being a select team, the Solway Sharks being a bit of a Scottish select team. I'd say at least 75% of our team is local lads. Don't get me wrong, we probably do have we are quite lucky and fortunate that we can have some boys come on 2 ways in there, but why would you not? I mean, Blackburn have got people on 2 ways with Manchester. Billingham have got people on 2 ways with Leeds. So why is it different for us? Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's true. Solway's, you're right.
On.
Yeah, it's true. I think with Solway, they can't do anything right in anyone else's eyes.
But that's life, right? Everybody's. I've said this from day one. One of the biggest faults that people have is that they're jealous.
Yes.
And I mean, jealousy is the worst trait that anyone can have. And don't get me wrong. I mean, if I was playing against Solway and I was playing for the likes of Nottingham or someone where they're absolutely tearing us apart every week, I mean, you would say the odd comment and stuff, but do you know what I mean? We're that professional and stuff that we just don't get involved with crap. Do you know what I mean? I mean, we played Nottingham the other week, mate, and I swear to God, there was a player called Yokohama playing. And there was one shift, he was skating around. I think he butt-ended Peanut twice in his stomach. Like, see if that wasn't the playoffs or something like the semi-final. Peanut would have absolutely levered him. But we just know. Do you know what I mean? We know when's the right time to get involved with stuff, and when's the right time to skate away. Do you know what I mean? But unfortunately, the whole refereeing system at the minute I don't mean the referees in general, but I mean this whole players not willing to fight and stuff like that, and you have to give someone the option. I mean, I'm not being funny. If someone's going to skate around and do stuff like that, they deserve to get the red kits in. Everyone knows that a butt end is one of the cheapest things you can do. But someone like Peanut at that many times knows that if he grabs him and beats him up, he's going to be suspended for. I mean, Reece Kearney-Witter, he's one of my best friends. Yeah. And it was the exact same kid who was doing that to Peanut, who he beat up in the middle of the ice. And everyone said he didn't give him a choice. He gave him a good 10, 15 minutes of speaking to him before he did it. But this is what's happening. I mean, that's the only thing at the minute which is ruining hockey. The sort of from what I feel. Yeah. I mean, like I mean, don't get me wrong. There's been times when I was young and I was skating around being a bit of a dick, and I've had my head kicked in. Do you know what I mean? Like I was playing for Peterborough once, and I don't even, to be honest, I can't remember what I did. I must have done something, and I've got Nicky Watt jumping me. Do you know what I mean? Like, but I tell you what, since that though, I've never really done it again. Do you know what I mean? Like, people need to know that that's going to happen.
Yeah.
But that is the only thing at the minute that I think is sort of destroying our game a little bit. I have the utmost respect for referees. I mean, when I was younger, I didn't, because when you're younger, let's be honest, you think you know everything.
Yeah.
But I mean, a lot of the referees, I know we have great respect for one another now. I suppose that's more of an age thing. As you get older, you start to appreciate that not everybody likes being called a you know what throughout their career, and you know what I mean. They're not getting paid good money, but just that is genuinely no disrespect to the referees. They're just following the instruction that they've been given at the end of the day. But I know that experienced players who've played the game, who don't play anymore, I think they're seeing some of the fights and stuff online, and then they're seeing how long people are getting suspended for, and it's absolutely ridiculous. Let's be honest, that's the reason why 70 to 80% of the fans come to watch a hockey game, to come and watch a fight. You think about it, there's always someone who goes to work 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. They hate someone they work with. They'd love to punch their head in, but they can't do it. But they'd love to see someone else do it, right? So that's why they go and watch a hockey game where you can legally do something like that. But I feel like at the minute that's sort of being took out of the game. I mean, we need experienced referees to be able to see that if a player is doing something where they do something where they should learn a lesson, let's do it. But that's me going off on one about that. But it does frustrate me.
Hard.
I've never been so frustrated as I was last weekend the weekend before last when we played Nottingham. Just some of the stuff what was going on, mate, was honestly, absolutely, it was ridiculous. But I'm so proud of the boys for just keeping the Reds and not doing it. I mean, but
it shows the level that the team's at, for a young team to have that and to be able to just not bite. It's a great thing. It's a really great thing. To be honest, I think. What about, like, if we could talk a bit about Martin Grubb? Because I mean, you mentioned him already. Every Solway player, anyone connected to Solway in any way, raves about this man. And I'll be honest with you, I had a chat with him in a podcast previously, and I find myself raving about him. What is it playing under him? Like, what makes him so special in your opinion?
It's his hockey IQ. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like, he just knows. He knows exactly what he needs in a team to make a team work. He won't just bring a boy in for the sake of bringing a boy in. I mean, when he brought me in, I think he was probably a little bit skeptical. I've heard coaches talk about me in the past, maybe saying I didn't have the best attitude and stuff like that, whether he took a chance on me or what, I don't know. But he signed me after the second year of me playing at Manchester Phoenix. And I loved my time there. They were, obviously, I absolutely adore Solway and it all been my team, but those 2 years were the years where I probably look back and think that was probably the highest level, at least, of hockey that I played throughout my career. I mean, I was playing with the likes of Bacalit, Robin Kovar. I mean, there was Robert Schnabel, who's an ex-NIHL player. Tony And was our coach. Do you know what I mean? And just talking to Tony And there, he sent me a lovely message the other day about my retirement and stuff. And it just, for someone who is the greatest player to have ever played the game in our country, just send you a little message, it meant a lot, right? But going back to Martin, he just, until you meet him, you'll never get it, right? Do you know what I mean? Like, he has his long beard and he's a big boy. Do you know what I mean? Like, you just don't think that he has the IQ of what he does, and it's just second to none. He just knows and he looks after everybody. I mean, he's not just your coach; he's your friend at the end of the day. But he's the last person who you would want to sort of have a disagreement with or something. You know, he's not afraid to fucking bite your head off if he needs to. Like, he's not afraid to call you out in front of everyone. He'll call you out in front of anyone, right? So as soon as he's talking, you're quiet, and it's just the respect he has. I mean, there's times when he'll speak to me about certain things and what do I think about a certain situation and stuff, and he'll take it on board. And it's just little things like that that makes you think, well, he appreciates me, so why would I not appreciate him? And then I was speaking to Martin at the end of last year, and I was saying, "Do you know what, Martin?" I said, "I think I'm done." Like I had a bit of a crap. What the year was? I think it was. I just got married. So I got married in December 2019. My dad passed in the following July, just before my 30th birthday, and then we found out 2 weeks after my dad passed that my wife was pregnant. So can you imagine what was going through my head? Honestly, I was just like, wow, like my life had gone from, it had just gone boom, all of a sudden.
Yes.
I mean, I've got 3 younger brothers as well, twins who are, there's 4 years between us also. There's me, Daniel, who's 4 years younger than me. And I've got twin brothers. I think they were only 21 when my dad passed. So it was difficult, right? Yeah. I mean, there was relocations for my mum, relocations for my brothers. My wife is from Dumfries. I was with Kate then. I've been with Kate 7 or 8 years now. We just got married, and our plan was always to move to Scotland. But when that happened with my dad and stuff, it was a little bit much. It was like, right, let's just move now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we made that plunge, and then the house we bought was delayed for 1.5 years. So we were living in our friend's accommodation built onto his side of the house for 1 year with a newborn baby. It was, honest to God, it was difficult. It was so difficult. But just talking about Martin there, it's like he was the first person who would speak to me about stuff, and he put himself in my shoes and put his arm around me when I needed it, as did Jamie. But Jamie's spotted different, right? Jamie's more from the heart, and he's the one who'll tell players, fucking sort your shit out. Come on, and he'll talk to you. He'll talk to like an ex-player.
Yeah.
He knows how to get that oomph out of you and how to get you up for a game. Whereas Martin is strictly, don't get me wrong, he knows how to do that as well, but he is how we need to go about it, how we're going to do this, how we're going to do that, the strategies and the tactics and stuff. So those two together, they're unmatchable. You're not unless we're talking ridiculous leagues above and stuff like that, you're not matching that, because Jamie's from round here as well, so he has that hunger for the team. Martin, I believe, is originally from Fife, but I know he lives there now. So it's not just like it's anything to him. It means something to them as well. I mean, they've won everything together, and there's a reason they've done that. Yeah, you can say teams aren't as good as us and stuff, but you can only play what's in front of you, and everyone has a slip up on the. But I heard someone say the other day, I don't think we've lost a home game in at least 2 years, maybe longer. And I mean, there's a reason for that.
Yeah, it's mad. It's crazy.
Exactly.
I mean, how do you even begin to process that level of success?
Exactly. And even when we played EPL teams in the past, one of my favourite ever games was when we went down to Peterborough. And I'd played for Peterborough for 1.5 years at least. And we went down, honestly, I think we had about 12 skaters, and we managed, yeah, they didn't have their imports playing, but their Brits should still be better than us, right? They're EPL. So, and we turned them over by a goal, do you know what I mean? And it's like, it's just little things like that, those sort of memories that always remind you of why you love the game so much. But that just shows there that you can beat a better team than you. So teams have, and don't get me wrong, like teams have come close. I mean, we played Billingham in that, the final of the Cup. I think we were beating them 6-2 at one point at home, and then it finished 6-6. It's like they were up for it, and Billingham have come on so much this year. Do you know what I mean? They're doing really well. But it's nice to see another team stepping up a notch.
Yes.
I just wish other teams would do the same. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not down to us for. Do you know what I mean? Solway have wanted to be in that league above for a long time. It's not their fault that they're not. They've not been accepted in, or they've been told we're too far away.
It's a joke.
Not too far away.
It's not a national league, as far as I'm concerned. It's not a national league if distance in travelling within the nation is the problem. If you can't travel, if you can't afford it, I understand that as a team.
Yeah.
But you have to leave the national league and go to your south or your northern. That's it.
What team's going to have to do the most travelling? Obviously us.
Yeah.
Well, no one else is going to have to do the travelling we do.
Well, you already travel all of your away games on Sundays anyway.
Exactly.
So you take that hit. I'm pretty sure that the team would probably agree to that for the national, or something could happen.
Of course.
But I think that's a big one. I mean, I would love to see Solway step up. I think that if you're a fan of British hockey and you want to see British hockey develop, you have to allow a team like Solway to go up.
Of course you do.
What message does that send to other teams? if you don't.
Exactly, and I seen the other week about Basingstoke, so I don't know if that'll have an effect on it being the one team missing to now coming to. I just don't know, but I do hope they get the opportunity. I really do. I mean, I'm not going to be there, but obviously for someone like me, it would be better for me to go and watch that than watching them play Nottingham Lions. And this is no disrespect to Nottingham Lions. I mean, but who wants to go and watch teams play and get beat 20-0? I mean, we beat them 21 over 2 games.
Yes.
Like, and that's a quarter final of what league in the world does the bottom place team get to play in the playoffs? How does that even work?
It's
right?
kind of ridiculous, isn't it?
Just, you know,
it's a silly
finish
system.
bottom and then still playing.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, mate.
It is, and I think, to be honest, I think you'd
ridiculous.
see the league that you're in now develop quicker if Solway were to go up, because, like you said,
when I said the bottom team,
well, yeah,
obviously they didn't finish bottom. I know Sheffield did. Even then, like, who can finish second to bottom and be making a quarter final? It just doesn't make sense. Like, but
no,
like, scrap that and let's make a double header against. Let's make a tournament out of the top 4 teams in the south against the top 4 teams in the north, something like that.
Yeah.
Let's do it proper. Not like, why do we want to play all season and then go and play Nottingham home and Nottingham away in a quarter final? What good does that do for when we then get to the final and play the second best team in the league, right?
Yeah.
That's not what playoffs are about. Playoffs are supposed to be intense, and I think for the last 2-3 years it's always been against Nottingham in that game, and it's just like, all it does, it risks our players getting banned. You've probably got players on their team who aren't playing next year, so they don't give a shit if they kill someone, pretty much. You know what I mean? Because what effect is it going to have on it? It's just ridiculous.
It is.
Hence why you've got players skating around, but ending people and cheat shotting people, cross-checking people in the back of their head and stuff like.
Well,
people got to get up for work on a Monday morning. Do you know what I mean? Like, come on, man.
Well, that's it. You're right. It's a physical sport, but there's a line, isn't there?
Yeah.
When it's like that.
Yeah, but the unwritten rules of hockey at the minute, they're just getting taken away. But we've already spoke about.
Well, yeah. To be honest, I think is it the Swiss league or one of the leagues? I'm not sure. I someone will probably tell me I'm wrong, but they've said that they're going to ban fighting, which is very impressive, given it was never a rule anyway. How are you going to ban it? What are you going to do? Like, you know?
How are you going to ban it? And what good is that going to do for anybody?
Nothing.
All that's going to happen is you're going to have more rats playing the game.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's all that's going to happen. How can you ban it? You got players skating around on an inch of steel and playing the fastest game on the earth, pretty much.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That it's part of the game, and it's always going to be part of the game.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Exactly. No, you're completely right. And let's do one final question before I leave you alone, because I'm sure of a Thursday evening you'd rather be doing something else than talking to me. What's next for you? You're finishing final game this weekend. Big game to go out with. What's next?
Obviously, this weekend's massive for me. I'd love to go out on a high, and then moving forward, obviously, I've got my wife, I've got my little boy who's just turned 2. But then in terms of where I'll stand with hockey, I mean, I'll just continue coaching at the ice arena, going down, being around the rink as much as I can, obviously, when the time is right to be at the rink. And then just helping with the kids, because like we discussed, obviously, players who've got that experience, that's what makes the difference to a young one playing. So, yeah, I mean, myself and Bob, we coached under 14s last year. And at the start of the year, you would have never thought they would win a game. We were playing against teams that the kids have been together since they were proper kids, you know what I mean? Like 6-7-year-old. And at first, I think they were getting beat quite heavily. And then we've managed to like win a game. And the first game we played a team, they're getting beat, I think 15-1. And then you lose in the next time playing like 3-1 and 4-2. It just shows how much they're listening to people. And I'm not saying it's just because of me and Bob, but it's because they've got coaches there who know the game, who they can look up to and know they've worn that Sharks jersey and just aspire to be like them, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the next step, mate. It'll be going down to the ice rink, helping out where I can. I don't know what team I'll be coaching next year. I really don't know. I'd coach any age group. I honest to God would. So, for example, if I coached the under 14s, I'd still go and help the under 16s and 19s, just even if it's just passing puts for the coaches who are running it and putting the puts in the corners, just being a presence wherever I can be. And then obviously going down, seeing the Solway Sharks boys and just being a bit of a presence there and letting them know I'm still here. Do you know what I mean?
Brilliant, yeah. Don't blame me. That's brilliant. Honestly, Richard, mate, best of luck for the weekend, and thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate your time.
No, more than welcome. More than welcome. It's been a pleasure.